Now, don't get me wrong. I am all about questioning source material. If I didn't like research, I most certainly wouldn't have received my graduate degrees that majorly consisted of research papers and citing sources. However, this YouTube channel being a part-time gig and attempting to continue to push out 2 videos per week, I simply wish I had more time to crunch out and refine more videos, along with having more thorough responses to some of my wonderful and insightful comments I receive on the channel. However, like the expression goes, time is the most precious little thing we have. Consequently, I both admire and scratch my head every time I receive a viewer that indirectly attempts to provoke me towards defending the validity of the Urantia book. After all, I only provide introductory videos through often a psychological lens to assist viewers into either being curious about the text or for those who are wishing for clarification for specific parts of the book. Consequently, my job is not to pick a religion for you, since that should be your own journey towards discovery. Consequently, some of my viewers that know me most certainly must have imagined how excited and relieved I was when I heard that there's a religious journal completely dedicated to the Urantia book. And here's why. Peer-reviewed articles on the Urantia book will contribute significantly to validating its text by subjecting its claims, themes, and origins to rigorous academic scrutiny. All too often, are inquirers turned away simply due to believing that ambiguous origins of the Urantia book automatically means that such a text was fabricated. Thanks to this journal, future scholars will rightfully analyze its historical context, philosophical assertions, and theological implications, comparing them with established religious and scientific knowledge. This process helps determine whether the book presents credible insights or novel perspectives worthy of future exploration. Academic discussions will likely focus on the book's alleged origins, the method of its transmission, and its alignment with existing spiritual traditions. Some researchers are likely going to examine its cosmology, ethics, and metaphysical concepts, assessing their coherence and relevance. Others may investigate its impact on religious movements and individual belief systems, providing a broader understanding of its significance. Journals such as the New International Journal of the Urantia Book Studies will likely offer scholarly essays and study aids that engage the Urantia book critically. These analyses help contextualize its teachings and assess their validity with academic discourse. So let's check out the page associated with this new journal. All right, here we go. All right, everybody, let's check out the Urantia Book Academy together. It includes critical studies, liberal theological education, and publishing options. So when you go to the homepage, it's a little confusing. It starts with one of their publications that you can actually buy on Amazon via Kindle or I think they have like a paperback edition. And it's just several studies that were kind of put together when it comes to research that's already been done on the Urantia book. But what's really interesting about this site has to do with their call for papers. Their new research page that's coming forward right now. All right, so the IJUBS, right? The International Journal of Urantia Book Studies. It's brand new. It's not going to start until next year. However, they are still accepting technically papers up until May 15th. So by the time this video comes out, there's not going to be a lot of time when it comes to those submissions. But I'd imagine for following publications, they would be accepting more research papers. And with that said, let's read what this little notice indicates. All right, open call for papers for our inaugural edition. The International Journal of the Urantia Book Studies is delighted to issue its first call for original papers that offer scholarly scrutiny of the Urantia book. Papers may include, but are not limited to, critical or comparative studies, original interpretations, exegetical commentaries, studies focused on the Urantia book's relationship to Christianity, and studies of the Urantia movement or specific movement leaders or events. Book reviews are also welcome, so this is a very eclectic journal that accepts all sorts of publications. Apparently, they don't want you to have any more than 10,000 words, and of course, submissions should be done when it comes to Byron, right, the editor and publisher of this website. All right, so when it comes to who can submit, even though they prefer academic scholars, it states here that we aim to build bridges to the existing academic community. So we especially seek submissions by practicing or retired scholars or graduate students who have engaged in close study of at least some portion of the Urantia text. We're also happy to receive submissions from independent researchers, authors, and journalists who possess a degree of mastery of the literature in a particular field, along with a thorough understanding of the pertinent sections of the Urantia book. And then, of course, it gives you an outline on how to submit, what's expected, topics that can be submitted as well, and, of course, who we are. And this is an important section down here. Our publication was first announced at the American Academy of Religion in November of 2024. Known by our acronym IJUBS, the inaugural edition is due out in fall 2025. The publisher and editor is Byron Belitsos, founder of the Urantia Book Academy, which is this website that you're on right now. The peer reviewers are UB experts or cotton experts in particular disciplines. The journal will be both online and printed. All right. So with that said, very exciting news. Hit the back button. All right, and let's check out a couple more things here, including the vision and mission of the Urantia Book Academy. All right, here we go. Our purpose entails bringing scholarly rigor to the advanced study of the Urantia book. As scholars, researchers, teachers, journalists, and educational leaders, we will provide interpretations of the Urantia book that interface directly with contemporary knowledge outside of the Urantia text, focusing on, but not limited to, such fields as science, cosmology, philosophy, religion, theology, and spirituality, and including a special emphasis on the broad Christian tradition and its relationship with the Urantia book. We also aim to foster an atmosphere of holistic or transdisciplinary inquiry that always remains open to emergent religious, cosmological, and philosophical ideas, including the possibility of a new revelation. To implement the UBA mission, we will provide the following services in the coming years. And again, the one we're actually interested in for today, right, is the publication of the International Journal of Urantia Book Studies. Conferences are great, but most people don't attend those. They just watch them on YouTube or whenever they're live streamed. All right, well, there you have it. Finally, an organization dedicated to the validity and research of the Urantia book. So a little pressure off of me when it comes to trying to respond to some of these really provocative comments or questions that I get sometimes. Well, with that said, I'd like to thank everybody again for watching today's video, and I will see you on the next one.